Hi, and welcome to Family Lifestyles. My name is Kelly Burgess, and I am the Family Consumer Sciences Extension Agent with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service in Allen County. And today I'm here with Tracy Cowles, the Family Consumer Sciences Agent in Butler County.
Good morning.
How are you, Tracy?
I'm doing great.
Well, I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about today because it kind of revolves around summer and food and fun, and those are some of my favorite things.
Oh, yes. And this summer, families are probably going to spend a lot more time together, a lot more time at home.
Yes.
And we have noticed that they are using grills or they are cooking outdoors because that way we don't have to heat up our home.
Yes. And also, if you're trying to practice social distancing or you still want to have some kind of gathering, have people over, it's really popular to have a backyard picnic or be outside. And so a grill could be a great way to bring a meal together in a safer way.
Yeah, and warm weather encourages us to be outdoors. And when we are outdoors, if we cook outdoors, then we don't have to heat the house. Because, you know, when you turn the kitchen utensils or appliances on, then we take a lot of heat, it takes heat, and then we have to cool that back down. So we can cook it outside on the grill, and we can then clean up is a whole lot easier, and so we don't have to worry a lot about heating up the house. But there's a lot of things to take into consideration.
Yes, so I know some people might think a grill is a grill, but I know that you know otherwise. So tell us a little bit about what we need to know about all the different grill options if you're new to it.
We got to keep in mind that there are several different types of grills out there. You know, there's smokers, there's electric grills, there's gas grills, charcoal grills, pellet grills, and they come in all shape, all sizes, and all forms. You can get them from, you know, a round plate size all the way up to 36 inches. So, you know, knowing what you want is one of the first things that we have to take into consideration.
Maybe your storage space, too, if you have a spot to keep it once it cools down inside, or if you want to be able to fold it up really small.
That's where we come into the selection. I'm glad you talked about that. So we have to select the type of grill that we want. And so one of the first things that we have to take into consideration is how much money do we have to spend on this grill? You know, are we going to use it a lot? Is it going to be something that we are only going to use you know, one time, so do we need to put a lot of money in it? We're only going to use it on a holiday. So we think about our budget.
Maybe even portable too. Do you want to take it if you go camping, or do you want to leave it at home?
Right. And so you also need to take into consideration when you're purchasing that grill with the budget, are you going to have other things to use that? Are you going to have electricity? Are you going to have, you know, wood? Are you going to have charcoal? Are you going to have a propane tank?
Right.
And, you know, when you buy a grill, usually the propane tank doesn't come with it. Right. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to take that into consideration.
So you're saying you might not want to spend, if you decide what your budget is, you might not want to look for a grill that costs that exact amount. You should maybe back down a little bit so you have enough left to get the other things that you need.
That is correct.
Okay.
And then you need to think about the cooking capacity. Are you going to need to prepare a lot of food at once? So if you do, then you may need a 36-inch grill. If you're only going to cook for a couple of people, it's just you and someone else, then you could get a smaller grill. So you have to take into consideration what cooking capacity are you going to use. And then, you know, convenience versus flavor.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Which do you think would be the most flavorful or add more flavor? Well,
that's where we have the charcoal.
Okay.
A lot of people like the charcoal taste. So if you want that real grilled out charcoal flavor summer, then you would use a charcoal grill.
Okay.
If you want a hibachi style, then you could get a flat griddle style, which is the kind that I have. And that way I can cook anything I want on it. I'm not limited. Then you can also get the gas grill. That's a convenience. You don't have to worry about having all of that extra charcoal and waiting for the charcoal to get hot.
Yeah,
the right
it's a lot
temperature.
faster.
So it's heated up real quick.
Okay.
and then you can get your food started. So it's convenience versus the flavor. Now you can put pellets and you can put smokers and you can put those types of things with your grills, or you can purchase grills that are nothing but a smoker.
Yes.
They have several
kind of
different
standing,
types. Yes, they have several different types of grills. And there's several different brands. And as a University of Kentucky employee, we do not promote any particular brand, but some that are of the higher end might be a Blackstone, might be a Weber, might be the Green Egg. Those are some that are the high-end grills that are out there. Where can you find those grills, or where can you find a grill? You can go to your big box retail stores. You can go to farm equipment stores. So there's several different places that you can find them. And you can even go to your little local corner store market that carries lots of different things. And you can go in there and you can purchase the little round ones that you could just take with some charcoal.
Or maybe an outdoor store, or a camping, sporting goods type of place also.
Yes. And then you need to take into consideration the space that you have at home. Now, I have 2 grills. One that I leave outside all the time because it's got a hood and it's safe and it's covered. And then I have a flat top grill that I do not leave outside, and I pull it in and out. And both of my grills are gas grills, so I have to have the propane. So that's another issue that I have to take into consideration. Am I going to leave it outside and let maybe someone take it, or because
or just the weather get to it, and I mean, having a cover over it could help, but it's still, even if it's underneath a deck or something like that, if it's not completely exposed, might be a little bit better. Yeah,
and then but my flat top I bring in. I raise my garage door, I bring it in after I let it cool, and I bring it in. So the space that you have, if you can't bring one in and out, then you need one that's small that you can maneuver. Regardless, you need to think about the temperature that it can get to. You need to think about the grate that's on it. My grate is like a cast iron. So you can also get just the wire grates. So that's another option that you have.
And probably how cleaning those would go too. That's a whole
I'm
other
glad you said that, because the best way to clean your grill is while it's hot.
Okay, that's something new that I've learned today then.
If it dries or if it cools off, the grease is going to cake on. So if you want your grill clean, the best way to clean your outdoor grill is to clean it immediately after you use it.
And that's with maybe a brush?
A brush. Use a wire brush.
Just to get off all that extra.
And then, there's other tools that you could use. Vinegar, baking soda, and water. Those are some things that you can just use to clean it if you didn't get it.
If you didn't do it right away. But kind of strike while the iron's hot, as they say, and go ahead. And that'll keep our food safe as well.
Yes, and we have to make
contamination and all of that.
We have to disinfect that surface just like we would if we were in the house. And so, you need to make sure that it's clean, especially if you leave it out and if it's covered. So we need to make sure that we take in the safety aspect.
Awesome. Well, I've so enjoyed learning about how to choose a grill. I probably need to go choose my own grill now. But we're not quite done. We'll be right back in a couple minutes to talk about decorating for your outdoor gatherings. Don't go away.
Adjust your rearview mirror. Always pay attention when you're pulling out.
As parents, we make daily decisions to keep our children safe. But it's easy to forget that sexual abuse could happen to any child, at any place, by anyone.
All right, guys, have fun at practice.
We'll pick you up later.
It's our responsibility to prevent child sexual abuse. To learn more, visit www.pcaky.org. Or to make a report of child abuse, call 1-877-KY-SAFE-1.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. My name is Kelly Burgess, and I'm the Family Consumer Sciences Extension Agent in Allen County. And I'm here with Tracy Cowles, and we have been talking about grilling so far. We're talking about outdoor eating, outdoor family fun this summer. We're all spending more time at home, but I've been surprised at how much fun being at home can actually be.
Yes, I mean, you can have activities that you can do. You can do indoor activities, outdoor activities. We talked about that in earlier before we came on. So what do you do when you get ready to have that grilling activity?
Yes.
You've got friends that's, oh, they're going to pop over. You didn't really prepare. So how can you decorate?
Yeah.
You know, we all have a niche. We all collect something. You know, maybe our kitchen is decorated in watermelons. Maybe our kitchen is decorated in a farmhouse theme. Maybe our kitchen is, we change it due to the season. I have been known to change my decorations just to the season that we have. So I'm also one that shops in the clearance section, and when I'm there at any big box retail or a small market, I look at what they may have.
And a lot of times it's surprising what you can find. And they might even have an entire theme of something on sale. And if that's something you've been looking for or that already goes with a theme that you have going on in your home, that can be a great time to purchase. Also, just having those different things just brings some interest. It's something new to look at. I mean, we've all been tired of being in the same four walls, so something simple like a decoration can be a conversation starter, and it can really bring some joy to what might be an everyday conversation.
Oftentimes we think of using this type of a tissue with baby showers or weddings or things of that nature. They have them in all different colors. You have your deck, you have your ceiling, you have your roof, or you have rafters. Fix some of these and hang them from it. They have a hanger on them.
Cool.
You can hang those. And, you know, that was purchased in the clearance section. So
I've even seen where you can make something kind of like that with tissue paper.
Yes.
You fold it accordion style and maybe twist a pipe cleaner or something around the middle, and you can fluff it out.
And that would be an activity that you could get the kids involved in so they could help do the decorations. And most of us have tissue paper around. And most of us have a bread tie or a tie for our trash bags, or even pipe cleaners that we could use to and sometimes I use zip ties, whatever I have, rubber bands. So there's lots of options that can be used. And then also in the clearance section, they had these colorful plates and napkins and tablecloths. So, you know, 25 cents, 75 cents, and 25 cents. Really inexpensive. That's a decorated item that you could use for your season that you're having. And then maybe throw in a decorative lantern of some type.
Ooh, the lights. I feel like lights or something.
Lights are in. And so now you've got a theme going on.
Yes, and she has all the same color. Her little lantern matches the color. And I see pineapples, so she kind of has a thread going through. Maybe everything doesn't match exactly, but maybe it coordinates. It coordinates,
and as long as it's, you know, it looks good together, you could use it. You could throw in some yellow, throw in a candle. Most of us have candles in our home. We can go in and get a couple of candles and bring those out. The only thing is, we have to make sure that if it's a scented candle, that it does not interfere with the taste of our food.
Yes.
You would not want a floral candle out when we were serving fruits or vegetables. So you have to make
barbecue.
Sure, or and so you need to make sure, you know, something citrus, something clean.
Or even the citronella that is insect repellent. That way we don't get all... There's always bug spray, but I think the citronella smells just a little bit better, maybe.
Yes, and, you know, we don't want to have all this glorious tasting food and then have a candle that takes that away, because
it smells like gingerbread men.
yes, and you know, we eat with our eyes and with our smell, so you know, we want to make sure that it's appealing. So and most of us have baskets in, you know, in our home. You can just pull together some baskets, your tea towels that you have, you can pull those out. You can make your food a part of your display. We
Yes.
have a tiered stand here, and I've just pulled out some food that we would serve at a grilling activity and use that as my display. That would be an activity where people could come and use and pull their own food from it and make their recipe.
Especially if you use little skewers or put it in already little individual serving cups.
Yes.
It makes for less touching and it's easier for people to grab. So if you're trying to promote those fruits and vegetables, putting them in a way that's easy for people to get and visually appealing is a good way to promote those items.
Yes. And you can use placemats.
Yes.
As part of your decorating activity. You notice over here I have a watermelon placemat. You don't even have to use that as the placemat for your centerpiece or for your table setting. Use that in the center. Use that as something that would just be the focal point.
Or underneath the serving bowl even, where maybe if you are worried about it dripping out, you could put that placemat underneath and then, it'll serve its purpose.
And then if you have little signs in your kitchen, hello summer, bring out the sunshine, bring those out and set those out. And they even have, if you'll notice, I have a drinking glass over there that has the watermelon theme on it. And then my sign has the watermelon theme. Pull some things from your home. You can use paper plates. Right now, you know, we're all worried about germs. We're all worried about whether or not, you know, we are going to keep it safe. So one of the things you can do is you could use the throwaway products, as we mentioned earlier.
And I feel like that is a great excuse to just make dishes and make life a little bit easier. And the paper, a lot of times, is recyclable. And so we don't even have to worry about that. We can have, everyone has their own. They can even label. It's easier to label your cups if it's a paper cup. And then we don't get confused about whose drink is whose and accidentally somebody grabbed the wrong cup.
Right, and we could decorate the cups as we talked about earlier. We could decorate it to make it colorful. And, you know, while we are working on getting that ready, a lot of times we stress. We're thinking, oh no, everybody's coming, my house has got to be clean, I've got to have the decorations just perfect. So we need to make sure that we're not doing it and it's stressing us out. You know, you've had that get together, and when they get there, you're already tired. So make it simple. Keep it simple.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of outdoor gatherings and outdoor dining too. There's just some element that makes it a little bit more casual, a little bit less pressure.
And you don't have all that area usually that you have to decorate. So you could put a couple of, like I said, lanterns up. You could have a table set up with a few.
Or even the string lights.
Lights. So, I mean, you know, you need to make it fit your personality and not to be a stressful event that we often incur when we have people to come over.
Or as you mentioned, you know, something you collect. We said that could be a conversation starter. You know, maybe you collect teapots. I don't know. And
I do collect teapots.
Maybe somewhere knew that in the back of my head, but using those decorations is fun. It's something you already have, and it brings appeal to your gathering. So, I've enjoyed talking about decorating, Tracy. I have so many ideas, and now I'm encouraged to go look and see what I already have that maybe I could find a couple simple things just to add to it, along with the color, along with the theme, to make our outdoor gatherings a little bit more eye-appealing. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes to talk about what exactly kinds of food we might be grilling this summer. So come right back in just a minute.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. My name is Kelly Burgess, and today I'm here with Tracy Cowles, and she's been sharing lots of tips for us about outdoor summer family fun. We've talked about choosing the right grill and the one that'll meet your family's needs. We've talked about decorating and making your occasion just appealing, maybe on a theme, safe, fun, using things that you already have at home. And now for arguably the most important part,
yes.
What are we going to eat?
Yes.
And how do we have food safety measures outdoors?
Yes.
So it can be a little bit trickier, and our temperatures are higher, so we have shorter time windows to work with.
Right.
Tracy has all kinds of tips.
The first thing that we need to think about is when we go to the grocery store, we need to make sure that we are keeping things separate and safe at the grocery store. You know, you go over and you get your produce, you put your produce in, and then you go and you get meat, and you lay your meat down, and if the meat's dripping, then your produce is, you know, if you don't keep it, maybe it's an apple and you don't have to wash the apple, or maybe, you know, it's lettuce and you're not going to wash the lettuce or whatever, but, you know, even though it comes in a bag and it says already washed, you don't have to pre-wash it, or it's already done. I always take it out.
It's always a good idea to redo it.
Yes, because I don't know if I've cross-contaminated it. So we need to make sure that we keep the cold foods together, you know, the dairy section and then our meat section together. We don't want to cross-contaminate. So that's the first thing.
That we're going to cook versus things that we're not going to cook.
Yes.
So we don't want those raw juices or things like that to mix with something that we might eat without bringing it up to a temperature.
So, you know, that's the first thing. We do that at the grocery store. So actually grilling starts at the grocery store. It starts, you know, with you bringing those items home. And then, you know, I live in a very rural community, and if I want to purchase a large quantity of meat, I will have to go to a bigger place.
Yes.
And so if it's hot out and I'm going to buy meat, 2 hours is, you know, the maximum amount of time. And if I'm 30 minutes away and 30 minutes home, that's 1 hour already.
Right, and that doesn't even account for your preparation time or the time that maybe it's sitting out right before you put it on the grill, or the time that you have to marinate it.
Right. So it's a good idea during the summer months to carry a cooler with you so that you can keep that meat at a good temperature. So that will help. You know, that two hour window.
Even if you don't have a ton of ice packs in there, just having it in that enclosed space with a little bit of something cool, it'll stay more frozen.
Even it being cold will help, you know, keep the cooler. So you need to make sure that it's 40 degrees below Fahrenheit, and that way if it's an insulated cooler, and you can get them in small, you can get them in large, and I know at the extension office we at one point in time had some insulated bags that they could take to the grocery.
I love to keep those in my car.
Yes.
They don't take up any room and they're really convenient.
And you can fold them, and you don't have to take home plastic or the paper bags. So we work on the chilling of it, making sure that we keep it at the right temperature. And then, you know, and then we have to worry about, you know, we get ready, we get home, we have to make sure that we have a clean space to work with. And especially if we're doing meat, we need to make sure that we do not cross-contaminate. So we would probably want to take into consideration having a cutting board that we use for nothing but meats, and then a cutting board that we use for fruits and vegetables.
Once again, that cooked versus not cooked, or even if you do plan to cook your fruits and vegetables, we don't want to cut them on the same cutting board
that is correct.
as the meat. So maybe it's a different color. Maybe you know that the glass one is for this and the plastic one is for that.
Correct.
However you want to have your system.
And I'm glad you said colors and then mentioned plastic. A lot of people have wooden cutting boards. And wooden cutting boards are not for meat.
Right.
Vegetables and fruits, they're okay. But for meat, you do not want to use a wooden cutting board.
Because it's porous and it can seep in there without you even knowing.
You know, you don't want to do that. And if you have a really nice wooden cutting board, you need to make sure that you keep it oiled.
Yes.
So that was one of the things that we learned when we went to that knife technique session that we had. So if you want to know some neat knife tricks or some things that you can learn about cutting, you might call your extension office, because you know, and a paring knife is what you want to use when you are cutting. And if you are, instead of the great big chopping knife,
a chef knife.
Yeah, chef knife.
And
so
when we're cutting up things, we're going to cook them to a certain temperature, maybe?
Yes, we are going to cook them to a certain temperature. You need to have a food thermometer, and some extension offices have food thermometers that they can give away. But we need to make sure that if we are cooking beef, pork, lamb, or veal, that we let it rest for 3 minutes before we serve it, and it needs to be at least a 145. Fish is at 145. A hamburger and other ground meat is at 160, and poultry is always at 165.
Okay, and that includes chicken and turkeys.
Yes, chicken and turkey is at 165, and we don't cross-contaminate. And one of the things that I like to do when it's time for grill is I like to do hobo packs.
Yes. Oh, I've loved the name of it. So tell me more about this technique, how we do it.
Well, the first thing that you need is you need some type of container that you can cook it with. And so,
on the grill,
on
safely.
The grill, on the grill. So aluminum foil works wonderful.
Can you do regular? Does it have to be heavy duty?
Regular will be fine.
Okay.
Heavy duty, if you want to make sure that you don't puncture it, is the best one to use. And you can even buy full sheets now where they pull right out.
Oh,
you can use a sheet. So my favorite thing to do is to take a hamburger patty, and of course I don't have one because of, the safety measures, but you can take a hamburger patty and you can put it in the center of your aluminum foil. And then you can take a potato and slice a potato really thin and some onion and put some potato and onion on top of it. Use some salt and pepper or some...
You have some garlic salt over there, maybe?
I have some garlic
powder.
powder. You could use some all season. You take that, you put it in, and then you wrap it up. Make sure you fold it up really, really good. You place that on the grill, and you just let it cook slowly.
Okay.
And the potato and the onion flavors the hamburger, and when you open it up, it's almost like you have a hamburger steak with potatoes and onions on top of it.
Complete meal.
So you have a complete meal.
And also, making sure you mentioned cut the potatoes really thin. That's because we want everything to be done at the same time. So we don't want to have really big pieces of potato that are still going to be raw by the time your burger reaches its temperature.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there are vegetables that you cook together that you don't add other things with because they don't cook at the same temperature or at the same time. For example, I like to take a little bit of olive oil and I chop or chunk tomatoes, and I put zucchini and squash in and put that in a wrap and put that on the grill. And they cook about the same time. You can put apples with a little bit of brown sugar and some butter, and they can cook on the grill.
Pineapple? Can you do that?
You can put pineapple on the grill. But the one thing that I like to do when I'm camping is potatoes, onions, and carrots. And you notice I have really small baby carrots, so they cook a whole lot better.
Good idea.
If you have large carrots, you need to cut them at the cross. Cut them at a diagonal, and they cook a whole lot faster.
Well, I am hungry already. Thank you for sharing these recipes with us. If you want more recipes, you can visit your local cooperative extension office for recipes like Tracy was talking about, or our Plated Up Kentucky Proud recipes. Thank you for telling us about outdoor grilling and safety today, and thank you for joining us for Family Lifestyles. My name is Kelly Burgess, and I'm here with Tracy Cowles. Have a great day.